Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing absolutely fine. In this video, I will show you how you can win every match with Cinderace. And to make sure you are learning from a correct guy, let me show you my rank. Right now, I'm currently on Master rank 1721 points. I won't say it's a very high rank, but it's a quite decent rank. Anyways, let me show you my history. And these are my history battle of Cinderace. I'm not showing my history to show up, but to tell you that you are learning from a correct guy who also plays Cinderace in Master rank. Now let me give you the highlight of this video. First we will learn how to play and do the rotation in the early game with Cinderace. And in the second part we will learn what should be your play style with the Cinderace in the mid game. And in the third part we will learn how to position yourself in the final stretch, because the final stretch is the most crucial and important part in this game. The final stretch decides whether you will win or lose. And with Cinderace there is a very high chance that you can win the final stretch moment, because the unite move of Cinderace has a very high probability to steal the Rayquaza from the enemy. Anyways, now without wasting any time, let's begin the video. In the early game, I'm going in the jungle, but usually with the attacker I go in the top or the bottom lane. But in this match I'm going in the jungle, because when you do the jungle you get a huge level advantage, and in the solo ranking the level advantage plays a major role. This is why whenever I play solo I always try to go in the jungle. And if you don't know how to rotate in the jungle lane, you can watch this video. I will put the video link in the description, so make sure to check it out. Don't worry, even in this video I will show you some important rotation that you must do in the jungle. And as the video goes forward, I will tell you everything you must do and don't in the early game, so make sure you don't skip any part of this video. And after clearing the jungle, I already decided that I will rotate in the top lane first. You must also pre-decide that which lane you wanna rotate first. Right now I'm on level 5, and as you can see my teammates are still on level 4. This is the level advantage you get when you do jungle. And in the early game, never ever try to score at the 9-minute mark, because the beast will appear at 8 minutes and 50 seconds, and by any chance if you die at that time, there will be a huge disadvantage for you. As you can see here, they try to score at the 9-minute mark and they had to pay with their lives. And right now I'm focusing on staking because I have to attack weight on Cinderace. You can see the level gap between me and Absol. Absol is still on level 4 and I'm on level 6. This is why you should play little bit safe in the early game. Even if you have to stake health item, try to play little bit safe, especially at the 9-minute mark. If you die in the early game, it will be a huge level disadvantage for you. And after clearing the top lane objective, make sure to come back in your jungle as soon as possible. But unfortunately Crustle is here, so I have to play little bit safe, because at the 8-minute mark the center beast will appear. So you have to make sure that you must be present on 8 minutes in the central area. And luckily I got the red buff. Instead of chasing after Crustle, I decided to go in the central area. I am mentioning this again and again. In the early game, farming is the most important thing, especially if you are the jungler. So always make sure to be present on the central area before the 8-minute mark. You can see the level difference between me and the enemy. Inteleon is still on level 6, but I am on level 8. So in the early game, play little bit safe, secure the objective as much as you can, be on the time to contest for the jungle objective, and pre-decide which lane you wanna rotate first. Now again another objective will appear at 7 minutes and 20 seconds, and you must be present either in the top lane or the bottom lane and make a pre-position before the Regieleki appear. And right now I'm playing little bit aggressive here because I know that I have a huge level advantage, and if you have a level advantage in the early game, you should definitely utilize it in a proper manner. You can see the damage that I'm dealing right now. This is what happens when you level up properly in the early game. It's become super easy to dominate the enemy. Now you might be wondering why I am scoring gold instead of securing the Regieleki, because I knew that no one's gonna contest for the bottom lane Regieleki. So that's why I decided to stake the attack weight. As you can see in the map, there is a huge fight going on the top lane, so I have to go in the top lane after clearing some objective. And I noticed that my teammates are doing quite fine in the top lane, so instead of rushing in the top lane, it's much more better that I farm in the jungle and then go to the top lane. But if my teammates teammates were losing in the top lane, I would definitely rush in the top lane to help my teammates. This is why you should always keep an eye on the minimap. In the minimap, I saw Crustle going in the gold zone, so I also decided to rush in the top lane. Whenever you are farming in the jungle, always make sure to keep an eye on the minimap to figure out whether your teammates needs your help or not, because I have seen lots of players while the enemy is scoring goal or the teammate is losing badly from the enemy, they only focus on farming. I know that farming is important, but securing the objective and be with the team is more important, especially if you are jungler. Always try to be present on the team fight, and unfortunately here I died by the hand of Gengar. Anyways, in the mid game, you must focus on farming, clearing objective, be present on the team fights, and always keep an eye on the map. Because if you focus only on farming, not securing the objective or not helping the teammates, it will be totally a disaster. Because farming alone will never make you win. You have to level up your teammates as well to make them stronger. And to level up your teammates, you have to secure the objectives and always be present on team fights to make sure that your teammates win on the team fight. Because in the mid game, it's mostly about the team fights and securing the objective as much as you can. The more you secure objective in the mid game, the higher chance you get to win in the final stretch. Now I'm rushing in the bottom lane because I saw in the minimap that Regiliki will appear soon, so it's better that I pre-position myself to make sure Regiliki is secure. As you can see, I also check the bush to make sure the enemy is not there, and our Blastoise is doing a quite good job. He's hiding in the bush so he can stop the enemy, and indeed he stopped Decisive from stealing the Regiliki. That was really a fine job done by our random teammates Blastoise. It is super hard to get this kind of teammates, especially in the solo ranking, because most of the time I get super random dumb teammates. And one more thing, whenever you play Cinderace, always make sure to attack the enemy from some distance. Cinderace can deal very high amount of damage, but he has very low defense. Because of that, if any speedster get close to Cinderace, he can kill Cinderace instantly. This is why you should know what are the weaknesses of the Pokemon that you are using and capitalize on those weaknesses. Like the weakness of the Cinderace is close range. That is the reason why whenever I play Cinderace, I always try to attack the enemy from some distance, because I know that if I get close to them, they will kill me instantly, especially the speedster. And if you are playing against Cinderace and you are using some kind of speedster, always try to get close to Cinderace, then you might be able to kill Cinderace quite easily. And at this moment I got close to Inteleon. We both are attacker, right? So don't get confused. And one more tip for you, whenever the time reaches 3-minute marks, never ever use your unite move at any situation, because if you use the unite move at the 3-minute mark, it will be really hard for you to recharge your unite move again, because if you kill the buff, it appears again after 1 minute, right? So there is a very less chance that you will get any kind of buff at the final stretch. So always make sure to save your unite move for the final stretch. It doesn't matter what kind of Pokemon you are playing, whether it might be defender, supporter or speedster. You must always save your unite move for the final stretch, because even if you win in the early game or the mid game, if you lose in the final stretch, you will definitely lose the match. So never get too much confident if you are winning in the early game or the mid game. If you are losing in the early game and in the mid game, don't give up, because at the final stretch moment anything can happen. If you steal the Rayquaza, you will definitely win. So play safe in the early game, aggressive in the mid game, and play little bit safe in the final stretch. Now again we are trying to secure the Regiliki, because it will give us attack power as well as some kind of defense. Now the final stretch has come. This is the deciding moment of the match, whether you will win or lose. At the final stretch, if you have the lead in goals, never ever try to kill the Rayquaza, because there is a very high chance that enemy can also steal the Rayquaza. So instead of melting down the Rayquaza, try to defend it and wait for the enemy to make mistake, because they will be desperate to kill Rayquaza. And at the final stretch moment, if you are playing Cinderace, always keep a distance from enemy and make sure you don't die at the final stretch moment. As you can see, enemy are desperate to kill the Rayquaza, so they are going all in, they are using everything they can. This is why you should always try to defend Rayquaza if you have the lead. As you can see, still we are not trying to melt down the Rayquaza, because we know that we don't need Rayquaza to win. We already have the goal lead, and I have seen lots of players, they try to score at the final stretch moment at the 2-minute marks. Never ever try to score at the 2-minute minutes marks, because instead of scoring you must be present at the Rayquaza fight and pre-position yourself with the teammates, because even if you score 100 goals at the 2-minute mark and your teammate loses at the Rayquaza fight, you will definitely lose. And this has happened with me multiple times because of the random teammates. They try to score at the 2-minute mark instead of helping in the Rayquaza fight, and eventually because of that we loses the match. So in the final stretch, play little bit safe, stay little bit behind, and if you have the lead, just try to defend the Rayquaza. Don't melt it, just defend it. And at the 2-minute mark, pre-position yourself in the Rayquaza pit. Don't try to score at the 2-minute mark, especially if you have the lead. But if you don't have the lead, you can try to score at the 2-minute mark to distract the enemy or to split them. But if you die while trying to score, there is a very high chance that you will lose the match. So try it on your own risk. But I personally prepare to fight for the Rayquaza, because there is a very high chance that you can steal the Rayquaza with Cinderace Unite move. That's it for today guys, and if this video was helpful for you, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.